Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. We are here in front of Minfilia in the Waking Sands, because by now, patch 5.3 has been released and they promise to rework a lot of the more tedious quests, so let's see how that works out. Desiree? It pleases me to see you well. Do excuse me for interrupting, Desiree. My lady, the gentleman from Ashkana Exports has just left. I understand now why you didn't want to receive him. You did well, Tataru. Please inform the guards that we will not be receiving any further guests this evening. Thank you, my lady. Ever since we defeated Gaius von Belser and destroyed his ultimate weapon, the eyes of the world have followed our every move, scarce remembering to blink. Where once we worked in secret, with precious few friends and all too many enemies, we are now besieged by benefactors, each one more eager than the last to offer his complete support. A true embarrassment of riches. Of course, every promise of patronage comes with a price. Some make their intentions known from the start, while others endeavor to engage us more subtly. Dress it how you will, the message is ever the same. We shall help you, but only if you help us. The gentleman Tataru spoke of was more brave than most. In exchange for certain supplies, he would have us resolve a business dispute. Naturally, I refused him, as I have every other merchant of his ilk. Alas, the Syndicate's overtures are not so easily rejected. When we formed the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, it was with the goal of serving Eorzea, not the interests of individual Eorzeans. Our neutrality is fundamental to our cause. In my heart, I know this to be true, and yet, if accepting these offers of patronage could empower us to do greater good, might they not warrant greater consideration? Our Baldestian colleagues have been generous beyond measure, but we cannot expect them to... Forgive me, I did not mean to burden you so. It's fine. Yet, my urge to share this dilemma may not be wholly misguided. May I impose upon you to consult the others? They are like to have their own opinions on the matter. Right, loading screen here in between. Recall you our meeting with the Admiral shortly after the Luminsons sent word of a summoning of Titan? Then mayhap you also recall my words to our host. I said unto Mervip that her people had broken their treaty with the kobolds, and that the beastmen had justly responded. That we had been called to intervene in a conflict which she herself had invited. I spoke, in short, the truth. And wherefore did I speak it? Because, owing no allegiance to Limsa, I felt no compulsions to allow the Luminsons to distort the facts to fit a narrative which justified their actions and absolved them of guilt. Upon this subject, Minfilia can expect a similar reply. Our many dalliances with the city-states have already weakened our claim to neutrality, but the path she contemplates would see us relinquish it entirely. So Y'shtola is utterly opposed. Fortune begets power, and power fortune. But we, and especially you, have power is beyond doubt. The question is what to do with it. You may be interested to know that there is a growing belief among the refugees that Alamigo could be liberated, if only the Scions would commit their strength to the cause. Yet theirs is but one of many causes. We stand at a crossroads, Desiree. Each path is paved with good intentions, but where they lead is far from clear. Tis the lot of the powerful to attract the covetous as well as the needy. Thus does prudence dictate that those with power proffer aid with one hand, whilst the other resteth ever on their hilt. Alas, we have not the luxury of time to decipher our petitioners' machinations. Nay, not while the beastmen do labor unseen, defiant in defeat, to raise up their fallen primals once more. Doubt not that they shall, stronger and bolder both, nor that we shall be the ones to meet them. This sacred charge shall ever be ours. 'Tis but a pity we are so few, and our fortunes so finite. Yeah, the exact same point Minfilia is at. I've been receiving lots of gifts lately, but Papalimo keeps making me send them back. It wouldn't be so bad, but some of them are really nice. I mean, very nearly abandon your principles nice, you know? None can deny that we would benefit from more support, but if it comes at the cost of our principles? Neutrality was ever a delicate matter. I lost count of the times I had to explain to people that our allegiances need not necessarily lie in the same place as our headquarters. Mind you, if we are to sell our services for Gil, we might as well declare our fealty to Ul'dah now and have done with it. I'm quite sure either would enjoy the bribes. Okay, Y'shtola is against it and all the others are unsure. Except maybe Ida. The situation is not wholly unexpected. I too have given much thought to our organization's future, though it would seem I have reached a different conclusion. Maybe it's time I made my feelings known to the antecedent. Come along, Desiree. Alphinaud? Desiree? Is aught amiss? You desired counsel, and so you shall have it. Minfilia, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn must leave Ul'dah. We must do what? So long as we remain within Ul'dah territory, we will never be free to act with impunity. Moving our headquarters to Vesper Bay only delayed the inevitable. We have demonstrated our capabilities, and the Syndicate have taken note. They will not suffer our organization to remain independent now. We are far too dangerous for that. Surely we realize they are the reason Vesper Bay still lacks an Aetherite. They know full well how beneficial one would be to our cause. Which is why it and other favors will be denied us unless we cooperate. If Ul'dah is no longer suitable, where would you have us go? Experience has taught us that the appearance of neutrality is as important as the reality. Accordingly, we must keep each of the great nations at arm's length and plant our banner in a place which all agree is beyond their borders. Mordona. Revenant's Toll, to be precise. It lies within neutral territory and offers all the essential facilities we require. By way of an additional benefit, it's also frequented by a veritable legion of adventurers who may serve to supplement our ranks. I'm of course conscious of the fact that we have developed a certain bond with Ul'dah and the people over the years, but I truly believe this to be the best course of action. As you yourself observed, we have invaluable ties to the local community, forged through years of concerted effort. Ul'dah is our home, Alphinaud. To cast aside everything we have built and start anew in that desolate wasteland would be beyond reckless. The decision is yours to make, Antecedent. I only ask that we recall the shared purpose which first moved us to found the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, which moved you to found the path of the 12th ARR. We aspire to an ideal, you and I, just as my grandfather did. That makes us more than comrades in arms. We are as much your family as... That will be all, Alphinaud. I'm sure you have some familiar affairs of your own to attend to. Your concern is most generous, but no. I have left them in the hands of men better suited to the task than I. I could not very well allow my personal affairs to come before the needs of the Order, after all. What else? Leave Ulda? Has it truly come to this? Oh, this way. Pray attend to Alphinaud. He's engaged in some business or other and requires your assistance. Pray be on your way. Alphinaud waits upon you, and I have much to think about. Oh, and tell him he shall have my answer in due time. Confound it. She knows what must be done, and still she hesitates. All because of these fanciful rumors. I should explain. Minfilia's mother, well, adoptive mother, was among the great many who perished during the calamity. Flamine was her name, though you may know her better as the songstress of Ulda. She was a performer of singular talent and much beloved of the people of Eorzea. Not to mention a certain Charlian minstrel. As you may imagine, the news of her passing was greeted with shock and disbelief by her adoring followers, many of whom refused to acknowledge what had happened. That her body was never found only served to encourage speculation. Minfilia too struggled at first to accept the truth, but as Flamine's absence stretched from months into years, she saw that there could be no other explanation. Until recently, at any rate. For whatever reason, rumors have once again begun to circulate that Flamine is alive and well. One of our informants, Father Illiot, has sent word that a woman matching the songstress's description has been seen of late at the seaside resort of Costa del Sol. If we could succeed in tracking her down, I have no doubt that any worries that might plague Minfilia's heart might be assuaged. I mean to set forth for La Nacia at once. Let us reconvene there and inquire with Master Gegeruju as to the veracity of these rumors. And there's already the first change. Normally, you had to first visit Father Illiot himself, and he would tell you, yeah, maybe it's her, maybe not. Nobody knows. You have to look for yourself. Master Gegeruju. Oh, sweet siren of the sands. My Makota Muse, why have you forsaken me? Titans Bane! I mean, Desiree, what brings you to my humble resort? Flamine? You mean to tell me the goddess made flesh who dwelt among us until so very recently was the songstress of Ulda? A gods woman! If I had known that, I would have chained her to my bedpost and never let her leave. Oh, for shame. To think she now plies her trade for the riffraff of the West or wherever she said she was going. A tragedy, I say. A tragedy. West, is it? Thank you, Master Gerujo. Your information will serve us well. That said, there are any number of places she could be. I shall begin my search by the docks and see if any witnesses might have knowledge to spare. I would be most appreciative if you could travel on to Wineport and do the same. And thanks to further reworks, we can now fly in the Realm Reborn regions after finishing the Ultima weapon. Where is characters? Please load in. There you are. You want to know if I've seen a Mikot alas by the name of Flammen? I wish I hadn't seen a lass of any description for far too bloody long. Excepting yourself, of course. Well, if it isn't Desiree, savior of Wineport, to what do we owe the pleasure? Ah, yes, we did receive a customer matching that description. She was a delight to behold, to give a woman her due, but her perfume was so ghastly I had no choice but to eject her from the premises. Interfering with tastings, you understand? If she is your query, why not consult your blind associate? His olfactory perception is without peer. Given that I could smell the woman from a mile away, I dare say he could smell her from 10. Okay, Shamani Lomani. I see you had many grand adventures since last we spoke, Desiree. You must share them with me sometime. The girl from a little while ago, one doesn't forget a perfume like that. So robust and intoxicating, yet simultaneously familiar. Reminiscent of a bloom native to these parts, in fact. I said as much when we spoke. She complimented my powers of observation and asked me where she might find some of her flowers. So I told her to follow the road south into Waycatcher Gully and then head east after crossing the second bridge. The flower which grows in the shade of a cliff have the strongest scent, you see. If you make haste, you may yet find her there. Wait, I'm a summoner, not a ninja anymore. You have to actually stay away from the enemies. I'm in your debt, stranger. I did not realize my activities had aroused the Gobu's ire until it was too late. Their oils can be used to make a perfume, you see, and I... Are you Flammen? Flammen? I don't... Who are you? Whom do you serve? It appears you've already found our woman. Consider me impressed, my friend. The songstress of Ulda, I presume? Minfilia, or should I say Asilia, is looking for you. Asilia! You have a very picture of health, milady, yet the world thinks you dead. I can only conclude that this is by design. The question is why. Not everyone who endeavors to find me does so with the best intentions, child. You will be pleased to know that I fully intend to reveal myself to Minfilia when the time is right. Oh, well, that does please me, more than you know. But tell me, sojourns in the forests of Nalasia aside, when exactly will the time be right? When I deem it so, do you imagine I traveled all this way on a whim? As I was telling your associate prior to your intrusion, I came here to harvest these flowers for use in a perfume. Does that satisfy your curiosity, or would you interrogate me further? My apologies for the interruption. Anyway, now that we all have that which we came for, might we conclude this conversation in a safer locale? A wine port, say? This is not at all how I envisioned it. I can scarce begin to imagine what emotions will go through Minfilia's heart when she reunites with her mother after all these years. You say my daughter awaits us in Vesper Bay, yes? I have kept her waiting long enough. Let us be off on the next ferry. I can finish fashioning the perfume along the way. Understood. Come with me. It would be my pleasure to escort you to the Waking Sands. And another fetch quest that was cut out. And you get teleported back instead of returning manual, which is even greater. Anticedent, you have a guest. Lamin? Asilia. I haven't seen her like this in years, Desiree. I never truly believed it when they told me you were dead, but what kept you away for so long? The Imperials came for me, as I always knew they would, and so I resolved to stay far away from you as I could, lest the pursuit of me endanger you and our cause. I could think of no better way to grant you the freedom to continue our work. And continue it you did, achieving things I would not have imagined possible. I followed your every success, celebrating in secret. I'm so proud of you, Asilia. I learned from the best. I have a gift for you. Cesatia perfume? You remembered. How could I ever forget? You wore it all the time. If I ever lost sight of you, I could find you again just by following my nose. I did not think it was made anymore. You must have gone to so much trouble. It was no trouble for me, my darling. I fear I cannot say the same of Desiree, however. I could not have made it without her. Thank you, Desiree. Thank you both. There's something else. This is a cat's eye I found. All these years you kept it? My father was a member of the Alamigan resistance. When I was yet a child, he brought me here to Ulda. The accident which claimed his life happened shortly after our arrival. It was Lamin who took care of me then. She raised me as her own, taught me everything I needed to know to survive. I'm no stranger to the facts of your history, yet I fear I have failed you the grasp of your implication. It is clear there is much I do not know, about you and your mother both. One of her first lessons to me concerned mining, and I was a very dedicated student. With cats, I was the first stone I unearthed. It wasn't much, of course, but I was exceedingly proud to have found it nonetheless. So I gave it to Lamin as a gift. She said it was beautiful, but there I am at a loss. Why are you returning this to me? Is something amiss? No, Asilia, nothing is amiss. Quite the opposite. I need you to realize how far you've come, and how much further you must still go. You and your allies have accomplished more than I could ever have hoped. You succeeded where I failed, and made me so proud that words fail me. But even as I marvel at the woman you've become, and all the many things you've done, I cannot help but think of that which you have yet to do, and what it may entail. Asilia, daughter, you cannot stay here anymore. You and the Scions must leave Ul'dah. Lamin, you built it once, Asilia. You can build it again. And this time, we'll do it together. Truly? Alphinaud, the time has come for the Scions to leave Vesper Bay. We shall establish a new headquarters in Revenant's Toll, as you proposed. Much work lies ahead of us. Inform our fellow Scions and send word to the students of Bardessian. Preparations begin at once. Good, with that I end this episode. Until next time, when we go further into the Realm Reborn aftergame and the patch content, I am Mace, and don't get lost.